Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak today unveiled more reforms to further liberalise the financial sector and abolishing the 30% equity requirement for Bumiputras when companies seek listing, aiming to boost investment into the country. The reforms, which will take effect today, include deregulating the Foreign Investment Committee (FIC), which encompasses repealing the acquisition of equity stakes, mergers and takeovers. Najib says with the FIC's requirement removed, the SC will instead impose a 50% Bumiputra equity requirement as part of the public spread for Malaysian companies, meaning a 12.5% share from the total 25% public spread. Currently, companies going for listing will have to meet Securities Commission or SC public spread requirement of 25% and FIC's Bumiputra requirement of 30%. Najib adds the 30% requirement remains, but it is a macro objective.
Overall macro target remains the 30%. We will move along the lines of trying to achieve a balanced society. But we want to be fair to all communities. As I said, the two important premise: no one must feel marginalized, and no one must feel disincentivized. So we're trying to create that kind of a climate. It's a tricky balancing act, but it's doable.
Najib, in his keynote address at Invest Malaysia Week 2009, says that the FIC had outlived its youthfulness since its inception in 1974, adding that with today's different economic scenario, the FIC will only constrain growth.
FIC scope now involves far fewer transactions, far fewer rules, and far fewer conditions. This is in line with the government's focus towards establishing a more conducive regulatory environment for the private sector to prosper by facilitating robust investment activity and a more vibrant capital market.
Najib also announced the establishment of a new investment institution called Equity Nasional Berhad or Equinas, a private equity fund with an initial capital of 500 million ringgit that would be subsequently enlarged to 10 billion ringgit funded by the government.
Equinas will focus its investment in sectors with high potential growth, in line with supporting the new economic model. At the same time, Equinas will invest jointly with private sector funds in order to promote genuine partnership and in a fully commercial approach. In this way, participation of Bumiputras through Equinas will be premised on merit.
Najib also announced the liberalisation of fund management sector, whereby the wholesale segment would be fully liberalised to allow 100% foreign ownership for fund management companies to establish operations in Malaysia. While foreign shareholding limits for the retail segment unit trust management companies is raised to 70% from 49% currently.
To further strengthen Malaysia's position in the fund management and unit trust segment of the capital market value chain, and to allow managers an additional option to establish their operation in the region,
the government will also increase foreign ownership shareholding limits in existing stockbroking companies to 70% from 49% at present. Najib says that some of the country's domestic stockbroking companies have expanded their operation into other countries, adding that there is still opportunity for them to form new partnership and to facilitate the expansion of business domestically and internationally. The Prime Minister adds that these latest reform efforts alone are not enough without getting the right human capital. Therefore, he announced that Bank Negara and SC will review all work, visa application and fast-track the requirement process for international talent into the financial service and capital market industries.